Whoa, whoa, Dyna. Oh, and I guess Tiga's there too.
What's up, everyone? Adam Prime back again, and this week on the Blazing Toku Moviethon is Ultraman Tiga and Dyna, Warriors of the Planet of Light. And this was a fun movie this week. So, it's weird that they have Tiga in the title, but I guess because this feels more just like Dyna's movie, but I guess we'll get into that a little bit later. So, quick summary before I get into my detailed part, but I may be getting into spoilers, so if you haven't watched this movie, probably from 23 years ago, I'm sorry. So, pretty much, this movie is the TPC has created a whole new spaceship. They're like, hey guys, look at what we built. We made a death ship called the Prometheus. And Super Guts is like, what is that? Aliens take that ship over, and, you know, stuff goes bad. Eventually Dyna's defeated via the aliens. Dyna comes back eventually, defeats the aliens robot. The aliens get bigger and become, I don't know, like a blob. I guess we'll get into her later too, because I guess it's their queen. And Tiga comes in to help at the end, and the day is saved. That's the movie. I feel like my summaries are just getting shorter and shorter, but that's because I don't want to repeat myself when I go into detail. So, I guess let's get right into the detail parts and go. So, I really enjoyed this movie, but it's also like a lot of other movies for shows. Like, this feels just like a Dyna movie, and as I kind of said with Kamen Rider Zero One Real Time, these just feel like longer episodes that could have been cut up into, maybe even a mini arc, which I'm realizing Zet's Heroes Odyssey did that with this movie. They didn't use the whole movie, but they used good chunks of it. Matter of fact, they did it with Guy's movie and some of Tiga's. I seriously didn't think about that until I was recording this. So the more you know, or the more you think about. So yeah, these can be cut up into episodes. Thanks, Ultraman Z Chronicles Z Heroes Odyssey. I know I slipped up, but whatevs. And this was a very interesting movie. It opens up in space, and they fight this weird triangle bone monster. You know what? Since I haven't done it in a hot minute, I want to show you the opening clip. It was really cool. It was really neat to see. But I'll show you a little bit of the fight. Why not? Let's go. Roll it. Wait a minute. Nothing happened. Didn't even play the clip. That's weird. Hey, Bellarock, what's going on?
No clips.
What? Why not?
I didn't have my props prepared.
You could actually play the clips I asked you to put in.
No!
You think because it's my show, I could get what I want in it. But he's in charge of editing, so I can't really fight him. I guess moving on. So I overall enjoyed this movie, because I really like Dyna, as I stated in the Saga video, and it was just a fun time. Like I said, this just felt like an extended movie. Matter of fact, this whole movie kind of gave me the vibes of like episode 31 of Dyna versus Dyna. Like, in some story beats. Mostly like how the ending ends, how both the episode and this movie kind of ends, and Asuka kind of losing his confidence, you know? Where it's like him almost feeling inadequate to be Dyna via the new death laser that I mentioned in the summary, which like I said, the TPC makes this whole huge death warship called the Prometheus that can vaporize a monster in one shot. It was insane. And you know, that was just kind of like the opening bit was seeing that monster get vaporized, like the weird triangle Dorito monster I mentioned earlier, which I apparently get anything from, but it was in that moment where it's just like, whoa. And even all of Super Guts didn't know what was going on. They were like, whoa, what's that ship? And then, the same Admiral General guy who's normally like, even though he's part of the good guys, he's like a bad guy constantly. And you find out that like the ship is automated and they want all of the team to go into this weird sleep chamber. And of course, Asuka's the first one to volunteer to go in the thing. Asuka has a bad trip, and, it's not a good time. And overall, we find out, like, the reason they want the team to go in the ship is because, like if you go into their sleep chamber, it reads your mind, and it will have its battle strategies. It's all really weird and everything. But you find out the person who made the ship was being controlled by aliens, which were these weird popcorn chicken ball things. I don't know. And they're like the Mon Era, or the alien Mon Era, if you're going to be more correct about it. And they then just take over it, and, like anything the Earth builds, it gets turned on us, because, why make a giant death warship if it won't be turned on us and turned into a giant robot? And you can tell this was really meant to be a one-sided fight, because the only person that went into the chamber for the ship to read their mind is Asuka, so they got all of Dyna's data. So we get a one-sided fight between Dyna and Deathfacer, which was the Prometheus. And Deathfacer, it's cool. I think it's a neat robot design. I like the paneling and everything. I like the shape of its head and everything. It's cool. I really do dig Deathfacer. And, then it starts shooting its, like, vaporizing cannon, or is it the Neo Maxima cannon, I think? And it's getting ready to fire it, and then Dyna sees back his vision of him being vaporized, and he's just like, oh no, and, like, almost tries to run, and then nearly gets vaporized. He makes it out, he's fine, but he nearly gets vaporized via that cannon, and he's just like, oh god, what happened? And then Asuka's like, well, I guess Dyna, I'm not invincible as Dyna. And, like, that's something they kind of say throughout the whole film, is, like, Dyna being this invincible Superman, and it's just like, in reality, he's Asuka, he's just a guy, and, like, he's kind of just lost at that. And then he finds out that Mai gets thrown into a coma because she was also cut into the giant blast, and he's just like feels guilt for that, because it's like right before the giant fight was happening, they went out and had this argument where he was like, I have to transform, you get out of here, because nobody can know he was Dyna. So it was pretty much that scene. And then she was like, I'll show you, and then she gets caught in the super blast. And then after that, they pretty much go into him just kind of dealing with it. The popcorn aliens were just like, the Mon Era were just like, well, give us all you got. You have until such and such time, and we'll wipe out all your cities. But we'll let you prepare, or whatever they said. I don't remember. So Asuka runs into this Tiga kid. I don't even think we hear this actual name. Like, the thing that this kid does is he has a Tiga vinyl. And guess what, kid? You're not special. I have a glitter Tiga vinyl. It's not that hard to find one, but it's like the whole thing is like his brother gave it to him, and it's kind of like comes back to the ending of Tiga, but we'll get back to that. So he pretty much, like, Asuka runs into this Tiga kid, and he's just like, oh, what's that? And he's like, oh, it's Ultraman Tiga. And all of a sudden he's like, Ultraman Tiga? And then he goes to, like, go deep researching Ultraman Tiga, and he leads him to the old captain of the original Guts team, Irma? Captain Irma, I think that was her name. And he was pretty much like, hey, what can you tell me about Tiga? And he, like, starts learning more about Tiga and everything, and she's like, well, you can't meet Tiga. Tiga's gone. And he's just like, what? And he's just like, she's like, yeah, it's like, I can't bring him to you. I can't bring him to you. And he's just like, oh, that's weird. And she's just like, yeah, but it wasn't just him. There was a team and everyone believed in him, and that's what kept him pushing forward. Again, referencing back to the end of Tiga, which formed Glitter Tiga. I guess I maybe shouldn't have thrown him over there. Whatever. And it kind of just restores Asuka's confidence, because he's realizing, yeah, I'm not alone. I can do it. I have my team, and I have people believing me to fight. And then we get the rematch with Deathfacer. And this was a cool fight, because again, Deathfacer I think is a cool robot, and this was a really neat fight, but it wasn't like a one-sided one. But once Deathfacer was like, alright, time to bring out the death cannon, Dyna just full on just punched his way through it. Like, punched through the cannon, through the chest, and the robot explodes. So, that was awesome. But then, slowly, the Mon Era were like, well, this sucks. Alright, time to... Were they conglomerating? I'm not quite sure. Did they all become the Queen? But, like, the Queen Mon Era, which... It's fine. It's just... It looks like a glob with tentacles. That's the Queen Mon Era. And yeah, like, all of a sudden, like, after that, like, Dyna gets captured in the Queen, and all of a sudden, like, oh, everyone's like, oh, we lost. And then Tiga Kid comes back to tell everyone, no, we can be light. We can give them whatever. We can make them rise again. And somehow, like, everyone else in there was like, yeah, you're right. And, like, they all, like, start glowing and everything, and suddenly that just summons Tiga. Tiga's like, I'm here now. Now, this is the only part of the movie I'm really in. And it's like, okay. And yeah, the rest of the movie plays out exactly from there. Just Tiga goes saves Dyna, gives him some energy, they defeat the Queen Mon Era, and we go home. And that's it. It was fun. It wasn't even that long of a movie. I think it was only like hour 20. And I know I haven't really gotten into the Tiga part of this, but there's really not a lot. Also, I haven't watched Tiga. I want to watch Tiga. When the DVDs come out for Tiga, I will be buying those so I can watch it. But at the moment, I haven't watched Tiga. And honestly, this feels just like it was Dyna's movie. Like, it's just like, we'll just throw in... It's kind of like Dyna's show itself, where it's like it had a little sprinkling of Tiga stuff in there. And again, I feel like if you were a Tiga fan, there's not a lot for you. For me, a Dyna fan, this was his movie, in my opinion. Tiga's there just to be a team-up at the end of the movie so they can kill the giant monster together. It's like I don't even... Is it really actually Tiga? Like, I don't... Is that how he works? I don't know. But I did enjoy this movie. It was fun. It was good to be back. It was good to be back in that world. And I couldn't have asked for more. It was simple, fun. Just kind of ended fighting a glob with tentacles at the end. But what did you guys think? What did you think of this movie? Maybe if you're a Tiga fan, because you've watched Tiga, maybe you're like, oh no, this is good for a Tiga fan. And I'm like, maybe it is. I don't know. I guess I wouldn't know. Did you think it was terrible? I don't know. Did you watch some of the clips when it played on the Ultraman Chronicles Z Heroes Odyssey? Like, is that how you saw pieces of this movie? But put that down in the comments, along with any movie suggestions. Again, down in the comments. And I already went over suits and stuff, I guess. And I don't know what I'm doing next week, but I think that's all. So, until next weekend.